All right. Halftime of the Georgia Auburn game. You know, before I even talk about the play on the field, because I got plenty to say about that, let's talk about this officiating. You know, with less than 2 minutes to go in the game, we probably spent 25 minutes. I'm not bullshitting you. Go back and watch. Probably 25 minutes on replay. And I know the talk of the town is going to be, you know, well, you know, they got to make sure they're getting these calls right. Okay, I guess. I mean, you spent a solid 6-7 minutes reviewing, if not longer, reviewing the fumble on the goal line. A little bit ridiculous. But okay, that's a pretty critical play. You know, it's a quarterback sneak on the goal line. It's a fumble. You gotta figure out where you're spotting the ball. Okay, but then there was just constant stoppages, and you see Hugh Freeze getting animated over there, and he's such a goober. I can't stand Hugh Freeze. You know, I know he's a born again Christian and all that, and you know, great, but I just his actions in the past have been so egregious. I don't give a shit about him, but I don't blame him for being pissed off. I don't. They probably gave Georgia 4 timeouts, long timeouts, there at the end of the game. End of the first half, I'm sorry. Just not good. Not good. The SEC has got to do something about this officiating. This is probably the worst officiated game I've seen this season. And it's not even that their calls are bad. I mean, the holding calls are there. The pass interference they got on Georgia's there. The guys didn't turn their heads around. It's the reviews, man. You can't. The SEC needs to take an approach like the ACC did and give the viewer access to what they're talking about. Because I half the time I think they're just standing around with their thumb up their ass going, duh. There's just no excuse. I could watch that 100 times, that fumble on the goal line, and, you know, you're either going to call it one way or the other. Did the ball break the plane? Yes. But did he have complete possession of the ball as it broke the plane? No. It was already coming out before it even got punched out. So you're going to call it one way or the other. You might as well go with whatever you called on the field. If you called a touchdown, keep the touchdown. If you called it a fumble and short of the goal line, then it's a fumble short of the goal line. It's that fucking simple. Quit taking something and making it so complicated when it's easy to see. Okay? It's pretty easy. Is it a critical play? Yes. But is it a bang-bang play that no matter which way you called it was pretty much correctly called on the field? Yeah. Yeah, if you called it a touchdown and it stood as a touchdown, that's fine too. Okay? All right, I'm done about that. But let's talk about the first half on the field. Like I said, a lot's going to be made of the fumble on the goal line. And it's a bang-bang play. It could have gone either way. It could have very easily been 17-0 Auburn. And that's the truth to it. We could have been going into halftime 17-3 right now. 10-3, it feels much worse than that. Props to Georgia for somehow figuring out a way to, you know, keep it close, because this game has had every opportunity to get out of hand. Time of possession, 21 minutes. Auburn's had the ball for 21 minutes in the first half. Not going to get it done. This defense is not getting off the field on third down. We're not getting in third and manageable. Every time they get into third down, it's 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 3. And it's, you know, it's tough to play football that way defensively when your back's constantly against the first down marker. I mean, you can't you can't play football that way. We need these 3rd and 7s and 3rd and 8s. We got to start winning on 1st and 2nd down. The problem is Georgia's just getting pushed around out there. Auburn's not throwing the ball great. They're not carving us up. Yeah, they hit us on a couple whenever we sent the blitz, and they're hitting the seam routes and things like that. I am happy to see that Kirby is trying to bring the corners up and play more man. Probably 40% of the time tonight, they're playing up on the receivers. I like it. Did we get hit with some pass interferences? Yes. We haven't really given up the big explosive. Jackson Arnold's legs are giving us some issues. You know, it is what it is, guys. It's a tough football game. It's a rivalry game. But at some point, your defense has to start winning enough on 1st and 2nd down where you can get off the field some. We're just not doing a great job. We're not. Offensive line, a little better on that last drive. Like I said, Georgia probably got 4 timeouts given to them by the officials. So, you know, that last drive was probably, you know, a little bit fool's gold if you're looking at this game from a efficiency perspective. But offensive line hadn't played good. I think there was one point I looked at the stats, and Georgia had 2 yards rushing. And this is close to halftime. 2 yards rushing. I don't know what it is right now, but it's not good. And I think with that 2 yards rushing, we had like 18 yards passing. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. But if you watch, it all comes down to O-line play. Auburn was just out muscling us and out twitching us on the edges. They're hitting gunner. I mean, free runners. It might as well be called free runners. They're barely even getting titty bumped, and they're just smashing the fuck out of gunner. I'm going to be honest. This is probably the softest Georgia team that I have seen since 2015 Mark Richt. I mean, it's soft, man. In 2016, when Kirby took over, you know, the team wasn't this soft. Yeah, we went 8-4, 8-5, or whatever it ended up being. Guys, this might be an 8-4 Georgia team, and I'm just looking at it. You lose this Auburn game tonight, this could very well be an 8-4 Georgia team. You still got Ole Miss next week. You still got the Florida game coming up. Georgia Tech doesn't look like a pushover either, and Texas played pretty damn good today. So there's some tough matchups coming Georgia's way, and they need this game. I know it's a road game, and everybody's going to say, oh, it's tough to play on the road in the SEC. It's tough to play on the road in any conference. But bullshit. I mean, Georgia has dominated this Auburn series for a while now. I don't know exactly what the stats are, but I know at least the last 5-6 years straight we've beaten the shit out of Auburn. Besides the 1 year in 2023 where it was pretty close at Auburn. But I'm not impressed. I mean, Georgia hasn't done anything exciting in this game. They haven't done anything that's different than what I've been seeing, other than Kirby's trying to make some adjustments on this defense. It's just lackluster, man. These guys are not getting it done. And you see guys like Damon Wilson, whatever the hell, however the hell you say his name. He goes to Missouri and he becomes an All-American overnight. And you know, you look at Georgia and everybody's been pumping up Chris Cole and Gabe Harris and all these other guys. And it's like, I mean, these are just middle of the road guys, man. I mean, they're okay. They're not doing anything special. They're not Trayvon Walkers. They're not Channing Tindalls. They're not Lorenzo Carters. They're serviceable football players. And then you've seen the one guy that left Georgia who went to Florida State, and he ends up becoming a first-round draft pick. But at Georgia, he was just another rotational piece who really didn't do shit. So I don't know if there's a problem at Georgia with the substitutions and whether these guys just aren't able to get in rhythm and you know, do what they want to do, I guess, you know. And they're feeling like they have to make every snap count because they just don't. So they're not playing schematically assignment football. They're or maybe it's too schematically assignment. Maybe these guys aren't reading and reacting good. I don't know. But one thing's for sure, And that's that this defense, as of right now, is the worst defense I've seen at Georgia in probably 10 years. And I'm not bullshitting. And I'm not just shitting on my dogs. I love my dogs. I give them credit when it's due. But there's no credit to be given in this one. This game should be 17-3 right now. I'm just telling you. Thank God it's not. Thank God that they called it that way, because I believe if they would have called it a touchdown, they would have probably kept it a touchdown after the review. But this game should be 17-3 right now. Auburn drove the whole length of the field and got down to like the half-yard line. This game should be 17-3. And Georgia is just, they're playing with fire, man. I'm telling you, you lose this game, it gets really tough from here. Because you get Ole Miss next week, bye week, Florida. And it's not good. It's it's not good. Try not to be too pissed off right now. I'm kind of getting used to it at this point in the season. I think the Alabama game, I really blew my lid and got about as mad as I'm going to get all season. My wife was pretty upset with me that night. But LSU, South Carolina. Defensive struggle. Last time I checked, 10-7 LSU. Both of them playing good defense. I mean, and maybe a little sloppy offensively. I'm not going to lie, I haven't really been watching that game too much because I've been pretty honed in on what Georgia's doing and their 21-minute, defensive struggle. I don't know what other way to put it. But that's all I got right now. Hopefully South Carolina can pull it out. Fuck LSU. Fuck Auburn. Fuck the Gators. Go Dogs.